Alright, I'm going to show you what we're going to make right now. It's called the Japanese utility wear. Basically, a very simple apron, no tie. It just straps over your shoulders like this. Nice wide straps. It's open. It has pockets, large pockets, and simple in front. And this utility apron is just a man's shirt turned recycled. So I took a shirt like this and cut it up and sewed it together and turned it into this. Notice right here, you'll see the buttons. That's what I use for one strap, and you'll see the buttonholes. That's what I use for the other strap. The pockets on this one I made out of the cuffs. These cuffs just cut open and sewn like that. And to try to make as much use of every part of the shirt as I could. So let's go to it. I'll show you step by step what I do. Oops, I gotta stop and explain something here. Now that was the first apron I made, and I forgot to record it. So what I'm going to show you is the second apron, which I made with what I thought was going to be a really cool shirt, because it had pockets, it had little Velcro doodads all over it. It was a bad idea because it just complicated things, but I did record it, and it does explain step by step what I did. The back side was a problem because of all of those added things that I thought were going to be cool. So my suggestion is stick with a really plain shirt without any pockets, any fancy kind of buttonholes or whatever, and the back side should be very easy. Okay, so let's go to it.
DIY Marta, you are so handy. My front lawn washer was so noisy as it spun. It was the bearings, had to replace them. So many steps I was intimidated. Your YouTube video saved my marriage.
Alright, I'm going to do something else first. See how nice and wide these straps are? Ideally, I really like them wide. The problem I have with this shirt here, because I'm going to use the buttons and the buttonholes, is that we have a pocket, which I didn't have on the other shirts. So if I cut it right to the pocket, and I tried taking the pocket off, but it's sewn like triple layers, it's just not possible. If I take the fabric is very fine. If I take the pocket off, it's just going to be ugly. So I'm actually going to sew right over the pocket on this one. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a flap, go as far as I can over right to the pocket, sew it all the way down, and then turn it inside out, and that'll be my strap on both sides. Contour the bottom. Let's see here. So it's a little bit rounded on the back here. And now we'll start with the front edge. I wanted to hit the arm. So just at the edge of the arm, because you're still going to sew in 1/2 inch. So this part is a little complicated, so I'm going to have to draw it out for you. Okay, so let's say this is the apron as we have it, right? It's all open, and here are the arms, and we want to put a facing on the back side of this raw edge right here, these raw edges. So what you do is you get the piece left over from your sleeve and you rotate it around until you find a place, a spot there where you can get about 2 inches of facing around that opening. So just put it on top of there and then stitch. Let me reduce the opacity here so you see. Okay, and then you're just going to stitch along this edge, or you pin it, of course, all the way around. Stitch along this edge about 1/2 inch inside that seam, and then you can trim out all of this and then flip this over. This is the reverse side, so they're right sides together. Flip it over and then take a scissors and nick this edge right here and then iron it. Alright, and you're going to do that to the same over here, and then you can take a piece of the collar, cut it out, and just do a piece up here so that you have a facing. This is not a raw edge up here. Stitch it and then turn it around and iron it. Right. So now you have a nice clean edge, and you're going to top stitch over that to reinforce it. Before you make the final stitches, you do have to test it on yourself. Stick it on, put it on, stand in the mirror, and just rearrange everything in the back until it falls where you want it to fall. It took me quite a few tries, just readjusting all the straps and everything, until I got it to fit me. So that's pretty much how it's going to look. You start out with a pretty little shirt. The back becomes the front of the apron. The buttons and buttonholes become the straps. The cuffs become pockets. I only use one for this one. And the leftover pieces become your facing. And you end up with a pretty little utility apron.